Man, brand new movie that just hit theaters. The film is co-written and directed by Leigh Whannell. Whannell is most known for being the co-creator of the Saw and Insidious franchises, but now is known for his first two directorial films, which were Upgrade from 2018 and The Invisible Man from 2020. Originally, Ryan Gosling was slated to be the lead role, but Gosling had to pull out due to scheduling issues, but Gosling remained on as an executive producer. Taking over for Ryan Gosling in the lead role of Blake is Christopher Abbott. Him and his wife, who's Charlotte, played by Julia Garner, and their daughter, who's played Ginger, played by Matilda Firth, are back off to Blake's father's house after Blake finds out that his father, after being missing for over 30 years, is now pronounced dead. He now goes back to his Oregon house in order to pick up his dad's stuff. Along this way back to his father's house, Blake is scratched by an unknown creature that starts to turn Blake into the Wolf Man. The film is an hour and 43 minutes and is rated R. Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new review here on Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Dinnenberg. Today, we're talking about Wolfman. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and ring that bell for notifications. I do movie and TV show reviews, box office breakdown shows, movie franchise rankings, and out-of-theater reactions, which I did last night for Wolfman. Let me know your thoughts on this movie in the comments section down below. Where does this rank for you in Leigh Whannell's filmography? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Were you disappointed? Would you like more films like this for Leigh Whannell, or do you want him to go back to writing more? Let me know in the comment section down below. Sorry, excuse me, not just did he direct Upgrade Invisible Man, but he also directed Insidious Chapter 3 was his directorial debut. As I said, I respond to all comments, so definitely comment down below. And also, please hit that thumbs up button, guys. That's how you support this channel. So I was really excited for Wolfman because I absolutely love Leigh Whannell. As you know, in this franchise, on this channel, I am now a massive Saw fanatic. Like, absolutely adore the Saw franchise. And obviously, Whannell was not just the writer, but even the star of the first Saw film. And then I absolutely adore Upgrade. I think it's one of the most underrated movies of all time and one of my favorite movies of the last decade. Seen it 4 or 5 times. Love it. Really loved Invisible Man. So getting ready for this, I was pumped always now for the next Leigh Whannell project. And I'll say this for this film. I will say that I am disappointed by Wolfman. It got some really positive reviews, I would say, a week before it came out. But again, most people, that wasn't even for all critics, that was for a particular amount of critics. So I definitely tempered it because of that. But still, it's a Leigh Whannell film. I was excited. I really love Julia Garner in Ozark. I think it's one of the best TV performances of the last decade. So that got me excited. But overall, this was a disappointing experience. Now, that doesn't mean that this is a bad movie. I just think overall, I said it in my Twitter reaction and I said it on my out of theater reactions on TikTok, Instagram, and here on YouTube. I think the film is okay. It is extremely well made in the director's chair by Leigh Whannell. You can clearly tell that he's been in this business for well over 20 years. He's obviously was with the master James Wan. Him and James Wan created some amazing franchises. And obviously, he directed 2 of the best horror-like films of the last 10 years. He knows what he's doing in the director's chair. He also co-wrote the film, by the way, with his wife, Corbett Tuck. Tuck has been alongside Whannell's projects for a very long time. It's her first official writing credit. But I think the film is extremely well made. What helps is that when Abbott actually becomes the Wolfman, there is no CGI for the most part. It is all visual effects and, all prosthetics. Abbott has talked about that process a lot. And you can tell that he's wearing particular things, that this is not like a CGI outfit or costume. That made it a lot more tangible and real for what was actually going on. Christopher, as I said, the movie is actually stunning. It takes place in Oregon for the most part, and it is absolutely stunning, especially a shot or two that they reuse multiple times. Absolutely gorgeous film. And the movie builds suspense quite well with a lot of silence and not knowing what's coming next. I really enjoyed Whannell's pacing with that as well. Christopher Abbott, who, again, is he on the star level of Ryan Gosling? No, but I think this is actually really good casting here. Abbott's excellent in the film. And the best part about the movie is the father-daughter relationship between Blake and Ginger. You really did feel their connection because in the film, Charlotte Gardner's character is the working mom, while Abbott's character of Blake is actually the stay-at-home dad. So they kind of flip the gender stereotypes in films and in life, that there's a stay-at-home dad and the working mom, which makes him have a much closer relationship with his daughter than Charlotte does with her daughter. So with their daughter. So him and Abbott and Firth have really good chemistry together. Abbott does, as an actor, just feels like the everyman who's kind of put in this situation. So I thought Abbott was actually really good casting, and he has to do a lot of physical work because 70% of this role isn't even talking for him. It's moving around, crawling around, acting kind of like a wolf. So that's a really tough job, especially a thankless job because he's not really talking for the majority of the film, but he's very strong in the film, as is the child performance, as I said, from Matilda Firth. As I said, the aesthetic is there, the look is there from the character, the lead performance is really strong, and a child performance, and obviously Leigh Whannell's really good behind the camera. But overall, I just felt the story felt really flat. The movie's main theme, which what I was trying to hit, was childhood trauma. The fact that that can also be generational, on purpose or not on purpose. But I didn't think the film hammered it home at all in a good way. It was there, it was touched on, but it should have been the core focus of the movie. But it kind of gets distracted in multiple areas where it's a kind of a struggling marriage, it's an abusive like father. Then he just straight up just becomes a wolf very early on. So it kind of takes away the story's momentum. Because I think the setup wasn't too terrible, but because the movie's like nearly like 103 minutes, he becomes the wolf man really quickly in the movie. And I think that kind of halts the story from progressing. I think they could have waited a little longer for him to finally turn into the wolf man because the setup was good, but it wasn't good enough to have any emotional depth to it. The big problem here, not just is them not hammering home the childhood trauma theme, which I think was evident in the movie, but it should have been the main focus. But this marriage between Blake and Charlotte, I just didn't give a crap about. I love Julia Gardner. I don't think she was very strong in this movie. Her character a lot of time is just looking in awe of things happening around her, other than just, acting. It felt very, I don't know if it was the director's choice, Whannell's choice to have Gardner act like that, or her choice, but it just didn't feel right. Gardner delivers one of the most charismatic TV performances for me of all time. And here she seemed just very flat. The character itself was quite flat, and most of her characters just staring in shock or awe of something going on. And sadly, Garner and Abbott just didn't have any chemistry, in my opinion. You just didn't buy that they were an actually married couple with a child. They seemed at the most first stage of being a couple, but they are supposed to have a marriage and a child at this point who's like 7 or 8. I just didn't buy the relationship, and the twists and turns they go with the emotionalness of that relationship just did not work for me. So on a story level, I think the movie felt very flat. Overall, I just didn't care about who was alive, who was in danger a lot of the time. So the intensity missed. It was well timed, but because I didn't care about the story that much, the intensity wasn't quite there. So it's a well-made movie, mostly well acted, and the design and look of the movie is really awesome. But for me, the story, the main two parts of the marriage and childhood trauma, I felt fell quite flat. So overall, I'm going to give Wolfman a 3 out of 5 stars, a 57%. What are your thoughts on Wolfman? Did you disagree with me? Agree with me? Let me know in the comment section. Like the video, and I'll see you guys soon.